Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to Heel Shit. On today's episode, pro wrestling news, rumors, spoilers, discussions, and predictions. And your hosts, Dark Cordz and Draven Grimes.
Welcome back to Heel Shit. Why do we call it that? Because bad guys do heel shit. He's Draven Grimes. I'm Dark Cordz. You can read it down there. Today we got a special show for you. We're going to do our mock WWE draft. And then we're going to tell you how we take that draft through WrestleMania. First things first, check out the merch. There's a picture right there. Check out the merch right there. HeelShitShop.com. HeelShitShop.com. Indeed. All right. Well, let's get into it. Draven, how you feeling this morning?
I'm being lazy as fuck. Obviously, I'm laying on a fucking couch trying to shoot this podcast. Recently upgraded my little area here, so I'm no longer on this motherfucker. Yes, we also have fucking screensavers. But yeah, I'm looking forward to using this new setup, and really looking forward to getting into this episode. As you know, I've always been a huge fan of GM mode on WWE games, and when they brought it back for last year's 2K, I jumped on that shit like a motherfucker. I'm not gonna lie. I was very upset that it was kind of watered down compared to the GM modes I was used to from 2006, 2007 on. I haven't got into 2K23 yet, unfortunately. My PS4 decided to take a shit, and I had to choose between upgrading my podcasting needs or upgrading my gaming needs. So I did podcasting first. But
sounds good to me.
I love doing these kinds of things. So you want me to go over the rules real quick for the guys?
Yeah, and then I just download a coin flip app so we can see who goes first.
Cool. I was doing the same thing. All right, so this is how it's going to go. I'm going to be representing SmackDown. Dark is going to be representing Raw. We are both going to get 10 picks. After those 10 picks, wherever people are currently at on SmackDown or Raw is also part of our roster. We will do 4 weeks of TV up to a pay-per-view, and we're going to do this every week on HSP. We'll call it Bookin Shit. I think it's what we agreed on. So how we're going to do this scoring-wise is we're going to do our shows, do our pay-per-views, and we're going to alternate who has main event on pay-per-views. Say, for instance, Dark will have main event on Backlash, I'll have main event of Night of Champions, so on and so forth. Up until WrestleMania, we're going to have somebody score us every week, whether it be Thump from Talking Shit, Bella from WIW, Rip from WIW, or any current or former guest that we've had on this podcast so far, Brandon, Andrew, Cobra, what have you. And whoever has the biggest tally mark at the week of WrestleMania will get the main event of WrestleMania. So this is how it's going to go. 5 matches. 5 matches, 2 to 3 segments per show. Segments can be call-outs, backstages, promos, whatever. And I think that's about it. That's everything that I wrote down last night, because you were being like, hey, you better write down these fucking rules. You're going to forget everything. I remember.
It's a genuine, legitimate question. All right. Heads or tails?
I've always been a tails guy.
All right. Coin flipped. And it is heads.
All right. So you got choice of going first or second, my guy?
I'm gonna go first,
All right.
and I'm gonna pick the Reigns Solo Heyman group.
So you're picking Bloodline. Okay. So that
Yep.
means the World Heavyweight Championship will be on SmackDown, as you'll have
Yes.
the Undisputed Universal Championship. All
Mm,
right. For my first pick, I'm choosing Seth freaking Rollins. He is my number one draft.
I would certainly have picked him down the line. But great pick. Great pick. All
Yep.
right, for my second one, we are going Cody Rhodes.
I figured you were going to do that. All right. For my number two pick, Gunther. I don't want Imperium. I
Hmm.
just want Gunther as a single. So I'm breaking up Imperium.
Okay. I'm gonna go the OC.
Fuck! Son of a bitch. I hate you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. For my number three pick, I'm going to choose the Brawling Brutes. Sheamus, Pete Dunne, and Ridge Holland.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good pick. For my next, I'm gonna take Rhea Ripley.
All right. And she is the current SmackDown Women's Champion, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My
On
number
belts like
four is...
that, we'll just trade them. Whatever.
Yeah. For my number four pick, it's your boy. It's L.A. Knight. Yeah.
Yeah,
You knew he was
I
coming on
like
mine.
it. I
You knew
like
he was
it.
coming on it.
Oh yeah.
I had to.
All right, for my pick, I'm gonna take KO and Sammy.
Okay. Well, and we agreed on this. As long as we give each other heads up, we're allowed to alternate them since they're the undisputed tag champions right now. But
Correct.
if they lose their titles, they'll be exclusive to Raw. Correct?
Sounds good.
Okay. My number five will be Bailey.
Okay. Can't be mad. Good pick. Good pick.
Yes, sir.
Um, for my next pick, I'm gonna take the team of Liv and Raquel.
Okay. Damn, you kind of fucked up my goddamn draft picks now. You took my number six draft. All right. So, calling an audible here. I'm going to take Randy Orton for my number six spot.
Such a good pick. I'm going to take the Usos.
I figured. But see, why didn't you go ahead and just put all of the bloodline in one pick? You basically just wasted a
Because
pick.
they had them split up in the draft.
Yeah, that's their draft. That's not our draft.
They had them split up.
So, they're
All
still part
right,
of
well, fuck.
bloodline.
I'll put them with those. All right.
Yeah, I want you to
Then
maximize your picks.
in that case, I want Judgment Day.
You can have them.
Mm-hmm.
My number seven is coming from NXT. I'm taking the Schism. Joe Gacy, Ava Rain, and the tag team of the Grizzled Young Vets, whatever they call themselves. It's gonna be my main faction.
Okay. I'm going to go a similar route and take Braun Breaker.
10-4. For my number 8 pick, I'm going to take the tag team of Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, the Dirty Dogs.
I like it. For my 9 pick, I'm going to take the team of Strowman and Ricochet.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let me change this real quick. Change it. I said my number 6 is Randy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For my number 9 pick, I'm choosing Asuka.
Good pick. Good pick. So it's down to the number 10 pick.
It is.
I'm gonna take Zoe Stark.
Okay. And for my number 10 pick, I'm going to choose Baron Corbin.
Okay. Sounds good. And now, all of the other wrestlers that were not drafted will remain on the shows they are on today.
Yes.
Not this coming week when they switch brands.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, we will continue this right after a word from Castel Vodka.
Vodka evolved. Castel. Indulge in the revolution.
Thank you, Castel Vodka, for sponsoring the podcast. We had one little behind-the-scenes draft move because I drafted Rhea Ripley to my brand. I went ahead and transferred Bianca Belair to SmackDown so that there's a title on each. So sweet.
And just so
Let's get into it.
Just so we had it squared away. Though, we'll just make sure Bianca and Ripley switch the women's title. So Ripley will have the Raw one, and then Bianca will have the SmackDown one. Just so there's no confusion.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. So we're just gonna start the first of the 4 weeks.
I mean, we can do all 4 weeks in the pay-per-view if you want. I mean, mine's
Well, let's see how many shows we get through. I mean,
Okay,
yeah,
let's at least
they're
try
gonna
to
be
get
pretty
2.
quick.
Let's at least try to get 2 today.
Yeah, absolutely. So, week 1 following WrestleMania. Okay. Our rosters. Match 1, I got Strowman and Ricochet versus the Viking Raiders. The Vikings go over.
Okay.
Immediately attacked by the OC.
So you got OC as heels. No, they're baby faces.
Well, no.
Okay.
Yeah, they're baby faces.
Well, right now the Viking Raiders
All
are
right.
heels.
Yeah. So
Okay.
OC is a babyface.
Okay.
But they're the badass baby faces we just saw, where they're gonna wreak havoc. Okay?
Right.
Sets up next week. Gallows and Anderson versus Vikings.
Okay.
All right. Match number 2. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. We're gonna do KO and Sammy versus versus the Usos. Even though it's already been ran, this is supposed to take place right after WrestleMania. So we're going to do that WrestleMania rematch on this show with KO and Sammy going over. Next match, we've got. I need to look at the rest of the Raw roster real quick. The next match we have Liv and Raquel versus Becky and Lita. We're gonna have Raquel turn on Liv, costing them the match. Becky and Lita go over after the post-match beatdown. On Liv, establishing Raquel as a evil babyface, evil heel. Yes, the evil babyface, the coveted.
I'm down with that.
The coveted 2, 3, and that's 2 segments. All right. Next. Next, just for shits and giggles, we're gonna have Rhea versus Squash.
Okay.
Just to keep building her as a badass. And then 5, I've got Cody versus Solo. Cody goes over immediately after Breaker jumps Cody. Goes off the air.
Okay. So you just went with the whole straight matches, no promo segments for your first show, basically.
No promos, just storyline segments.
Okay. All right. So we're going to give a little backstory of what happened at WrestleMania, so this will make sense. Montez Ford double-crossed Angelo Dawkins and reformed his version of the Hurt Business, which will have Shelton, Cedric, and Bianca. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Also, since you had the undisputed WWE champion on your brand, we're deciding a new... Do I have to use the new world title?
Oh, bring back the big gold. Who gives a shit?
I was going to bring the Andre 87. Either way, we're not using that piece of shit that's on TV now. All right. So,
yeah.
Match 1. Rick Boogs versus L.A. Knight. Yeah. Obviously, I'm gonna let LA Knight go. I'm gonna let LA Knight go over. Hit him with the BFT. 1, 2, 3. After match 1, segment 1 will be the debut officially of the Hurt Business, coming out to establish that they are the only faction running in SmackDown that are only worth a damn.
Mm-hmm.
And they will call out anybody in the back that want to basically counter that claim. Lights go out. They start hearing a heartbeat over the intercom system, and as the heartbeat gets louder and louder, black lights will start pulsating with it. And on the Tron, there will be, where's it at? There will be 4 masks, and each one saying the grass is not always greener on the other side. Fade to black, go to commercial. So we're teasing Schism.
Okay.
We ain't said it's Schism yet, but we're teasing it. Match 2 is Bailey versus a local talent. 2-minute squash match. Post-match, Bailey grabs the mic and demands to be the number 1 contender for Bianca's Women's Championship. Match 3 is Dolph Ziggler versus Montez Ford. Dolph Ziggler wins by disqualification after the Hurt Business comes out and beats them down. During the beatdown, lights go out and 4 hooded figures are on the ring apron when they come back up, causing the Hurt Business to leave the ring. Lights go out again as they're going up the ramp. They come back up with the 4 figures now at the ramp side, causing the Hurt Business to leave through the crowd.
Okay.
Coming back from commercial break is segment 2 with the Hurt Business hurrying to a car with all their gear and Montez demanding that these freaks show their face next week on SmackDown. So Hurt Business is calling out the mysterious figures on SmackDown next week. Match 4 is for the Intercontinental Championship. We have Gunther taking on Pete Dunne. I changed them back because I hate Butch. Gunther is going over after 15 minutes. Match of the night, in my opinion. And then one of our 2 number 1 contenders matches for the World Heavyweight Championship at Backlash. It is Edge versus Seth Rollins. Rollins goes over to end the show. And that show won.
I like it. I like it. All right, well, let's get into Raw 2. Second week. Cody opened the show. Promo about Breaker. Challenges at Backlash. So that's going to be one of our matches at Backlash.
Okay.
We get a quick hold on a second. We get a quick AJ Styles versus Squash.
Okay.
Judgment Day comes out. Starting a program with Judgment Day and OC.
Mm-hmm.
Which will again be awesome. What's up? Can you bring this up? Cut to backstage. Liv being interviewed about being hurt by Raquel, and then while she's talking, Raquel jumps her.
Okay.
Okay. So match 2, what we got is we're gonna have Zoe Starks versus Rhea Ripley.
I would love to see that.
Huh?
Said I would love to see that match.
Yeah. And Zoe, Rhea obviously goes over, but Zoe takes her to the limit. Like,
Okay.
she loses, but strongly.
Okay.
Okay. 3, we've got Solo versus Kevin in a singles match with a no contest because everyone gets involved. Usos and Sammy get involved. Okay. And then we've got Cody and Ricochet.
Mm-hmm.
It's classic baby versus baby match. Cody wins, but respectfully.
Respectfully.
Respectfully. And then our main event that night will be Strowman versus the big man of the Judgment Day. Can't believe his name fucking escapes me. What the fuck's his name?
Damian Priest?
Damian Priest. Yeah.
Or Punishment Martinez,
Damian
if you're a Ring
Priest.
of Honor fan.
Right. Priest goes over. Distraction from Judgment Day. Priest goes over. Show over.
Show over. Okay. That was pretty good. Pretty good. You started getting some storylines going there. I like that. Okay. Week 2. We're opening with the segment of the black light pulsating with a heartbeat in the background. Again, teasing Schism. Immediately interrupted by the Hurt Business. Montez losing his shit, demanding that they nut up or show up and come fight them. Another video plays with the 4 mask on the Tron. Again, saying the grass is not always greener on the other side. At Backlash, you will feel our undying love as the Hurt Business will take their last breath. Run about 15 minutes there. Okay. Match 1. We have L.A. Knight going against a returning Bobby Roode. Yeah. I'm sorry. I forgot I got to say that every time. L.A. Knight. Yeah. Goes over Bobby Roode.
Yeah.
Post-match, L.A. Knight demands to be number 1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship because this is L.A. Knight's game. Yeah. And yes, I did write that down. It says the whole fucking promo. Match 2.
Yeah.
We have the number 1 contendership for the Women's Championship. We have Bayley versus Asuka versus Lacey Evans. Obviously, I'm putting Bayley over as number 1 contender. Fuck off. Match 3, and this is gonna start off another storyline. Pete Dunne versus Baron Corbin. Pete Dunne goes over, so I'm getting Baron Corbin on that losing streak again. Coming back from commercial break for segment 2, we see Seth Rollins leaving an office that says general manager of SmackDown. During his interview, he says that Backlash got really freaking interesting and that he'll let the next number one contender know what it means later tonight when the new general manager debuts and makes it official at the contract signing after the main event. Match 4 will be Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin versus Hit Row. Squash. Hurt Business goes over.
Mm-hmm.
Match number 5, main event, has Dolph Ziggler versus Montez Ford versus Brock Lesnar. Since he's a free agent, I'm going to use him. Brock Lesnar's going over after Montez Ford gets distracted by the heartbeat in the audience again, further building up that storyline. After the main event, Seth comes to the ring for the contract signing. Brock Lesnar interrupts with his attorney, because we're playing that bullshit since you got Paul Heyman. Says it, and the attorney says that he looked over everything and he will not sign this contract. We have William Regal re-debuting as SmackDown General Manager.
Nice.
And he said that he will sign this contract or he will be stripped of his free agency and he will be permanently put on one brand without the freedom of his creative control.
Okay.
Brock Lesnar begrudgingly agrees to it, signs the contract. William Regal states that it will be inside a steel cage for the World Heavyweight Championship, as we see Seth Rollins doing that stupid ass laughing, running shit up the ramp. And that is week 2.
I like it. I was wondering when you were going to introduce Rollins.
Yeah. So I got
All right. Well,
I got the Hurt Business Schism thing going. I'm starting off the Baron Corbin shit, and I got LA Knight wanting to go for the Intercontinental Championship, and I got Bayley going for the Women's Championship for my storyline so far. The Baron Corbin one's really going to, like, on week 3, really come together.
cool. Well, before we get into our week 3, are you interested in starting a podcast? Podbean.com can help. Are you interested in starting a podcast? Who isn't? Do you know how to get started? Nobody does. But you know who can help? Podbean.com. Podbean is the #1 podcast hosting site on the planet. I gotta tell you, without Podbean, we wouldn't have grown nearly as quickly as we have. They make it so simple. Sign up for an account, you pick your hosting plan, right there on your dashboard, you can apply to all the different podcast outlets. Apple, Spotify, Google, you name it. And then when you upload your podcast to Podbean, they distribute it to all the outlets. One upload, all the action. The dashboard has all the stats. You can track your podcast. And because they want to help new podcasters out so much, they're offering our fans 1 free month of podcast hosting to get you started. All you got to do is use our affiliate code. The link is in the description and it's right here. Podbean.com/HSP1 for a month of free hosting to get you started. Don't wait. You got nothing to lose. Show us your creativity. Go to Podbean, use our link, get a free month, and enjoy creating. Back to the show. Thank you, Podbean, for helping out our listeners. Now we're getting to week 3 of our lead up to Backlash. Austin Theory starts the show.
I was wondering if you were ever going to use him.
Austin Theory starts the show. Same old bullshit spiel on the greatest blah, blah, blah. Bobby Lashley interrupts him.
Okay.
And they jaw jack and they set their last Theory gives him one last chance at the title. That will happen later tonight. If Bobby doesn't win, he can't challenge Theory again.
I like
All
that.
right. Matt, shit. Try to carry over some of this shit. All right. So we're gonna kick off this with a hot start. We're going AJ versus Finn. Just
Hell
a
yeah.
crazy barn burner, huh?
Fight of the Bullet Club. I like that.
Finn's actually going to pick up this win from the Judgment Day shenanigans. Match number 2, we've got Liv Morgan versus Io Sky.
Okay.
And if you want to talk about a hardcore women's match, they put that crazy shit on right here. All
That's what I'm
right.
talking about.
We're going to
Match
say
tonight.
Io wins. Io wins due to Raquel interference. No, I'm sorry. Liv wins because of Raquel interference. She attacks Liv. All right. Match 3, we're going to see Braun Breaker make his debut versus Ricochet. And it's Braun with a decisive victory. He grabs the mic and somehow he makes grunting noises until he verbalizes the fact that he agrees to the match at Backlash with Cody.
Grunting noises. Really?
I accept.
Listen, I took a fucking concerto and could still speak English. I'm fairly sure he could take a Braun Breaker spear and fucking talk.
Well, no, Braun Breaker gave the spear. He's just goofy as fuck on the microphone.
Yeah, but
All right,
that's part
so
of his
our
charm.
fourth.
He wrestles like Rick, but he sounds like Scott. He's like the best of both worlds.
All right, match 4 is going to be Theory versus Lashley. Surprise, surprise, Lashley goes over. Theory
No.
then goes out. Theory then goes out, picks up a hoe, and gets HIV, forcing a retirement.
God damn. Fuck, dude. The kid's only 23. Why are you going to kill him off in the next 5 years?
You don't know if that's a storyline or not. You don't know
Yeah, but
if
as much
that's
as
a
you hate Theory, I'm
storyline.
pretty sure that's for shoot, motherfucker.
Maybe.
God damn. Fuck, dude.
Oh,
I thought I took shit
God.
too far. God damn.
That's heel shit. I don't mean it. I don't want him to go get HIV. This is my fucking world, right? This is my story. My story.
Calm down,
and I'm
Jeff
going to
Jarrett.
finish it.
God damn, you throwing Jeff
Oh,
Jarrett and
God.
Cody Rhodes all in one fucking promo.
And then I'm going to end the show with a segment. Reigns talking about his disappointment and the Usos. And he's gonna force a Solo versus Jimmy match next week.
Solo versus Jimmy Uso?
Yep.
Interesting. That's very interesting.
Indeed. All right, so that's the end of Raw 3. What say you?
I'm actually very intrigued on how your storylines are going to end up. You're writing better than fucking Kevin Dunn ever could. All right. Week 3, we're starting out with a pre-match segment. LA Knight comes out, wants to call out the Intercontinental Champion Gunther again, running down the crowd as he does it, as only LA Knight can. Gunther comes out with William Regal. William Regal's on the mic and proposes if he wants to be number one contender, all he had to do was ask. All you have to do is beat the previous number one contender from WrestleMania, which will be how I bring Sheamus into SmackDown. LA Knight wins. No, excuse me. Sheamus wins via disqualification from a low blow, which makes Sheamus number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship match at Backlash. So right now, LA Knight is out of that storyline. It's Gunther and Sheamus 2 or 3 or whatever.
Okay.
They're going to beat the fuck out of each other, regardless.
Amen.
Match 2 is Bayley versus Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans trying to get revenge from last week whenever she got pinned. Did not work. Bayley gets over. Match 3 is a tag team match, which we have Edge and Pete Dunne versus Baron Corbin and the debuting Cameron Grimes from NXT from the supplemental draft. Edge and Pete Dunne go over. Post-match, Baron Corbin attacks Cameron backstage, says he's done with this fake bullshit of being Happy Corbin, and it's time for the Lone Wolf to take what he wants. Kind of hinting that he's going to revert back to his Lone Wolf gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
I think you see where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
Match 4 is Bianca Belair versus Asuka. Double countout. Bianca gets spooked by the heartbeat and the black lights, but this time instead of the 4 masks on the screen, there's one red eye with a red beam of light hitting her as she runs up the stage, and just keeps saying, "We're always watching you." Further teasing the debut of Schism. And then match 5 is Seth Rollins versus the returning Big E from his neck injury. Seth Rollins goes over. Post-match.
Damn, dude, that hit me. Fuck.
I'm sorry.
That's fucking
Post-match,
awesome.
Seth Rollins is attacked by Brock Lesnar with 3 F5s and standing over him as the show ends.
Okay.
And that is week 3.
No, two things I loved in that shit. The Lone Wolf coming back and Big E, man, that was fucking creative genius right there.
Yeah.
God, I can't wait to see
anybody
him
that
come
knows
back.
me
I can't.
knows that I will defend Baron Corbin till the fucking end, but he has to have the right gimmick. And that Lone Wolf gimmick was always like his gimmick, not the happy shit,
Perfect.
not the king, not the bum.
Yeah.
Like, he fit the Lone Wolf gimmick perfectly. But that's where we're at on week 3, my guy.
All right. Well, this is the go home week.
Yes, sir.
The go home week opens with a segment.
Go ahead.
What'd you say?
I said, yes, sir. Go ahead.
Opens with a segment. Raquel walking backstage. You see Liv on top of a pile of shit, and she comes down. showing her hardcore shit. Says Pierce gave her a hardcore match at Backlash against her. So, segment 1. Alright, next. We're going to open the show with Dominic Mysterio versus Carl Anderson. Okay.
Okay.
I think Carl will definitely carry that match and make it look really good. We're going to have Carl Anderson pick up the win when the Judgment Day with Rhea attacks. OC comes out. Obviously setting up OC versus the guys in the Judgment Day, and setting up Rhea versus Mia. Oh, I was going on the wrong fucking page. Okay. So we're off. We're picking up match 2. We'll see an injured Raquel versus Kai. What's her name? Dakota Kai. Even though she's injured, she pulls out the win, showing her resiliency and power. Match 3, we'll see Cody in a match versus fuck. I think I'm too high and drunk right now. Just kidding, kids. We're going to do just a nice Cody Rhodes versus Chad Gable match. Hard fought, but Cody comes out on top, of course. Braun comes out. Misses Spear. Disaster kick. Okay, so that's going to progress that storyline. Let's see. We're going to have Zoe Starks, because I really want to push her. We're going to do Starks versus Carmella. She hasn't announced her pregnancy yet. Zoe Starks runs over easily. And then the go-home main event sees Sammy versus Jay. Sammy wins, but Jay looks more conflicted than ever. Wait, was that next? Was the solo match this week or for Backlash?
The solo match was with Jimmy. I think you said that was going to be on the next Raw.
Next week. Yeah, the next Raw. So, skip that. I knew I had something for that 5 match, but I was going on the fly now. So we got Solo versus Jimmy. We're going to say that Jimmy wins with help from Jay.
Okay.
Okay.
I like that go home. I'm really interested in seeing how you've built up your Backlash.
You said we had 4 matches, right?
4-piece, yeah. You got the evens and I got the odds for Backlash.
Cool. Let's hear your go home.
All right. Go home SmackDown. Brock Lesnar and his attorney comes out to address William Regal, tell him that using his relationship with the Office is going to have Seth's career ended at Backlash. Regal shows up on a pre-tape on the screen and says Seth is not cleared to compete tonight, so therefore he will not be at SmackDown. But he did call in a favor, and that Brock Lesnar will be in action for the main event, and his opponent will be the returning Randy Orton. Main event. So match
Beautiful.
1. Sheamus versus Shelton Benjamin. Sheamus is the number 1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship from his victory last week. Sheamus goes over. Post-match, LA Knight attacks Sheamus at ringside. Gunther comes and makes the save. LA Knight rolls out. Sheamus doesn't know what's going on. All he does is see Sheamus, so Sheamus makes Gunther eat a brogue kick. And that ends the segment going into commercial. Coming back from commercial, we have our next segment with LA Knight backstage saying that he will not stop until everyone realizes this is LA Knight's game and that he will do whatever he needs to win the Intercontinental Championship. William Regal walks in and says if LA Knight can win his match tonight, he will be added to the Intercontinental Championship match at Backlash, making it a triple threat. And his match is next. So, next match, we have LA Knight versus Cedric Alexander with Shelton at ringside. Granted, Shelton's already had his match, so he's a little beat up. LA Knight wins by countout as the lights go out with the heartbeat and the red eye again with the schism bullshit. So LA Knight is now added to the triple threat at Backlash for the Intercontinental Championship.
Nice.
Coming back, we see William Regal in his office on a call as Randy Orton walks in. Orton asks, is everything he has asked for set in stone? Regal says, yes, all you have to do is sign this contract. Randy Orton signs the contract, and he's officially a part of SmackDown. Match 3, we have Cameron Grimes versus Edge. Edge goes over. Lights go out. Post-match, a vignette plays with random wolves howling in the background and Barry Corbin doing voiceover, saying that next week on SmackDown, the lone wolf will hunt, and Cameron Grimes is his target. So you see what I'm doing there. Mm-hmm. Match 4 is Bianca Belair versus a local talent. Squash match, not even 2 minutes in. She gets a microphone afterwards and tells Bayley to use her head and stay away from Backlash, or she will end her. the main event. Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton. No contest. Basically, they beat the fuck out of each other and didn't want to listen to the referee. So he threw the match out.
Mm-hmm.
Post-match, Lesnar's beating on Orton. Seth comes through the crowd with a kendo sticks and beats Lesnar out of the ring. Orton and Rollins stands face to face. Rollins offers his handshake. Orton shakes his head and rolls out of the ring to finish SmackDown. Seth Rollins holding his dick in his hand. So there's a little deception there.
Nice.
Yep.
Very good. All right. What's your first match of Backlash?
All right. Match number 1. We have the women's title match. Bianca Belair versus Bayley. Bianca's head is not completely in this game, causing her to lose focus, which will have Bayley go over and become our new SmackDown Women's Champion. And that is open Backlash. How are you for match number 2?
We're going to do the OC versus the Judgment Day. OC over by AJ pinning Dominic Mysterio.
Okay. For match number 3, I have Sheamus versus Gunther versus LA Knight Intercontinental Championship. Yeah. My apologies. I'm actually having Gunther go over to continue his historic title reign over Sheamus. Post-match, LA Knight hits Gunther with the BFT and says that since he was never pinned, that he should still be number 1 contender. So Gunther is over as IC champion. LA Knight is pissed and trying to play semantics.
Okay.
And how are we on match number 4?
We're going to do Liv versus Raquel in the hardcore match. And the little Dynamo pulls off the victory with a dive off the tall ladder through a table. 1, 2, 3.
I love Liv. I always love Liv.
Yeah, she's fucking awesome.
Now, was Raquel still injured at this time, or was she cleared?
Oh, she wrestled that night. So
Yeah, but she was also
cleared.
injured that night. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, she's cleared.
Okay, so
Kayfabe pain.
for match number 5, I got the Hurt Business of Montez Ford, Cedric Alexander, and Shelton Benjamin with Bianca Belair, now not women's champion, at ringside, versus the debuting of Schism with a big debut entrance video. You know how they do. We have Joe Gacy, James Drake, and Zach Gibson with Ava Raine at ringside.
Okay.
Schism goes over after Bianca Belair and Ava Raine had a brawl out and a fallout. Joe Gacy goes over on Montez Ford.
I like it.
And now we have both factions officially debuted and working. And for your match number 6.
Rhea versus Mia Yim. Rhea goes over with her finisher. No outside interference. She's just a badass. And then as she's celebrating her victory, a returning Alexa Bliss, the goddess version of Alexa Bliss, comes out, setting up the feud for the next pay-per-view.
You cannot go wrong with Alexa. You really can't. Fun size. All right. So for the semi-main event, which is my main event, we have Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins inside a steel cage. The stipulation is they cannot win by escape, only by pinfall or submission. Lesnar goes over with the Kimura lock. Post-match, Orton comes out gets beat to hell by Lesnar. Rollins sees this happening, tries to make the save. Rollins eats another F5 as both men are stretchered out. So Brock Lesnar is our new world heavyweight champion. And that is my main event.
Okay. Well, the main event will see Cody versus Braun Breaker. Hard fought match, good 25, 30-minute match. Cody outshines him. He beats him, picks up the microphone, and he said, just because I lost at WrestleMania doesn't mean that my story is over. I'm still coming for that Universal Championship, and we'll see you soon.
Okay. So you're still using like the part-time Roman deal. He's only going to show up when it really
kind of. But I'm going to use him like a world champion. He's going to wrestle more often than he does now. But he's not going to be a weekly TV guy.
Right. Now I just figured you'd have him at least show up after the main event. I mean, that's how I've done it.
Can't be bothered to show up.
I got you. Oh, I think this pay-per-view was actually fairly decent.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I think it was good. What do you guys think? Do you agree with our draft picks? Do you agree with how we booked for Backlash? What would you do different? Let us know in the comments. If you do us a huge favor, if you're watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you're listening to this podcast on the podcast network, follow the podcast, set it on automatic download, enjoy it. We got 3 shows a week. And so every week moving forward, we're going to have a short Bookin Shit segment. And we're going to continue with this draft and these draft picks all the way through WrestleMania. And we're going to do it a pay-per-view every show. So 4 shows and a pay-per-view every HSP episode. Draven, you got anything else to
add? Make sure you pick up your merch from heelshitshop.com. Next Saturday night, we are doing a live stream review of WrestleMania 5 on Facebook. If you can't make the live stream, that episode would actually air for HSP number 12 next week. So if you want to get in on the comments, if you want to, talk some shit with us, ask us questions during the live stream, please, we implore you, join us. It's going to be a hell of a time. We're going to have fun doing it. I'm looking forward to conversing with everybody that shows up. And I'm going to be honest, this is one of the few WrestleManias I have not watched yet. So this is going to be me watching it for the first time. So it's going to be real interesting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, for Draven Grimes, I'm Dark Cordz. You're watching Heel Shit. Why do we call it that? Because bad guys do heel shit.
Later on.
Peace.